Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Hello and welcome to Tea Time. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? It is Saturday, December. Yeah, it is literally Saturday, December 28th. We are at the end of the year. I don't know. It just seemed to go by really, really fast this time. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of how it feels to me. Can you imagine? We're literally pretty much at the end of the year, just 5 more days, and 2024 is a thing of the past. Well, if you are like most persons, everybody's talking about the year ahead. This is when people start to think about, what am I doing in the new year? They start to reflect. You're seeing all these different posts that people are putting up about the magical year they have had in 2024, all the things they did, all the achievements, etc., etc. And maybe you're like wondering, well, how come I never got to create all these things? Maybe you didn't even set targets for yourself. Maybe you didn't have any dreams, aspirations, or goals, right? Maybe it was more of a thought that happened in January and then it just gone through the door after that. Whatever your situation is, you're thinking about the new year and you're thinking about things that you want to be different, things that you want to change, things that new things that you want to experience. And this is actually pretty normal, but how many times does it actually add up or equal to what you want your life to become by the time you get to the end of the year? Do you have blocks to actually living the nice life that you want? So I was thinking about it this week. And I was thinking about it, first of all, from the perspective of being here in Jamaica for the holidays, for Christmas, and just observing some of the attitudes that I experience. You go to the store, you go to the shopping centers, supermarket, whatever, and you just have some people that were really mean, right? And then you're overhearing conversations and you know I recall in particular just having a discussion with somebody, and they were just talking about all the things that were not great in their life, and I'm thinking to myself, say maybe Jamaican people too bad mind to actually manifest, maybe they're too negative to have a nice life. Is that what happens to us? Are Jamaicans too negative to have a nice life? Right? Do we spend too much time, complaining and blaming and being miserable? So because you're too miserable to be mindful, you're also too miserable to manifest. And I wondered how many people this was reaching. Like, I wondered how many persons were out there living what they think is a hard life and just, boy, I'm just and not really doing anything about it, because you just kind of accept that you're not supposed to have this amazing life. So I did start to think about Jamaicans in the context of how much challenges we face, how much crime, how much crime there is, um, just different things that I feel when you look at the divide between the haves and the have-nots, and even people that have still miserable, right? There are so many people that I know where when you look at their lives look like so good. Them life turn up. Their lives are all the way happening, right? And even when you might be thinking to yourself, boy, I want to really work harder at creating more wealth, or owning property and really finding the love of my life, and just being able to exercise and go to the gym, and just things that everybody kind of aspires towards. It may not be going to the gym, it may just be being healthy. But everybody wants to have a nice meal. That's pretty normal. Everybody wants to have a nice roof over their head. You want to be able to move around easily. A nice car, it don't have to be arranged, but you can drive a nice little car. Those are normal things that would equate to a nice life. But then I'm like, maybe we're too negative. Maybe we spend too much time cussing off each other, cussing off random people. We're too negative to have a nice life. Maybe we spend too much time finding all the faults with everybody else. picking on people's progress. You pick apart their progress. Maybe we spend too much time doing that, and it prevents us from accessing the kind of life that we want. And so I said, you know what? Because we're going into 2025, and I believe that everyone has the opportunity for greatness, has access to greatness, has actually access to that life that they desire, regardless of where you live. You could be in Jamaica, you could be in Cuba, you could be in Sweden, you could be in Germany, wherever you are. If you are putting your mind, focusing your mind in the direction that will help you to manifest, then you can overcome all of these different ways that you're currently pushing away from you the life that you actually want. Because I actually believe that many Jamaicans do that. I believe that we spend so much time finding what's wrong with our lives that we actually divorce ourselves. We separate ourselves from the life that we actually want. Right? So this morning, grab your tea. I'm drinking I'm drinking. I was out last night and I was hearing Beanie Man, rum and Red Bull. So that literally came to my mind a while ago. But this is not rum and Red Bull, people. This is ginger and turmeric with lime and honey. The ginger and turmeric is from Kendall Tea Line, and it's really, really good. And it's really, really great if you've been eating all kind of foolishness for the holidays like me. Yeah, it's really good to be drinking that, especially if you've been having alcohol. Yes, get you some ginger and turmeric from Kendall, and it will sort out your tummy. Anyway, get your tea, and let's get mindful. Let's take a few moments to talk about why your life looks so miserable, why your life don't look nice, why it is that you yourself are so miserable, and why it is that you experience a lot of miserable people. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I do not have, I forgot my spoon. All right. So the whole idea that I think a lot of us miss is that you are the creator of your life. In Jamaica in particular, I find that we are very religious people. And I grew up, I would say, in multiple religions because my grandmother was Anglican. So I was going to St. Michael's Anglican Church for a lot of my life. I was an altar server, all kind of things when I was a little girl. And then now I went to an all-girls Catholic school, right? So you're talking about now the Catholic religion. Now it's the same God and Jesus that they talk about, but it's just a different way of doing it, right? And then by the time I migrated, because I migrated when I was a kid, by the time I migrated and started going to the non-denominational Black churches in Georgia, that's a different type of conversation about God and with God. And then now some of my relatives were Pentecostal, I think it is. And that is a whole other side of different rules, because if you don't have the rules, then you're going to burn in hell. I mean, it's just like there's just always this lens. And I think Jamaica in particular is like the place where them say you have a church and a bar on every corner. Yeah, that is Jamaica, right? And I really feel that when you look at the lens through which most Jamaicans look at others, it's a lens of judgment. It's a lens of you are not good enough because you do not worship the way I do. And it's also a lens of negativity. They don't think it's negative, but it is negative because it is negating the other person's ability to access good things because of who they are choosing to be. And based on my life and just what I've understood, I find that it doesn't have anything to do with your religion, right? It does not have anything to do with your religion. The way that your life experience is, as far as it being a nice life, it does not have anything to do with your religion. It can be related to your religion because your belief system and your faith system, but it is not dependent on that. And I see it around me. If people are aware and pay attention, I see it around me all the time. Now, on the flip side of that, you have the persons who are not religious. And those people who are not religious now, they judge the ones who are, right? And then it's like this cycle. So whether you are religious or you're not religious, right? Then you end up in the same kind of negative exchange, the same kind of miserable encounters. Okay? And so what ends up happening is that your general tone is one of misery, is one of negativity, is one of aggression. It's literally like in Jamaica, they have this saying, it's called cantankerous behavior. It's literally like you have this mindset that is just cantankerous all the time. And it is seen when you're driving on the road and people are driving and somebody bad drive somebody else, and you just see the hand them a flash off and you hear the bad word them flying. I mean, people don't talk to people, they're your neighbors, and you don't see them unless they're cussing you about something. That's a very common experience in Jamaica. And so I thought, as we're moving into 2025, we need to do things differently. You know, as a country, as a people, just generally speaking, why is it that we can't access a different way of being so that our lives, our individual lives, can be better? Right? So that's what the tea is about today. Okay? Now, when you think about having a positive year ahead, like people think, oh, she just have to talk about being positive things, and you know, I can't bother with that. I like watch the drama on TikTok. I like watch the TikTok them where the people them are cuss out each other and the market people are talk about this. And there's a guy going around on TikTok now where he's interviewing people that really look like they have a miserable life. And he's interviewing them and asking them about their love life and them leaving them husband and this and that. And the people are looking miserable. And I'm like, why do you want to spend your time? This is in Jamaica, walking around talking to people about their misery. But when you look at the number of views that it gets, it's a bag of views. So the same persons that are like, oh, you know, we feel bad for that person, but you're sat there watching the misery happen. And then you can't figure out, well, why me so negative? You're so negative because that's all you fill yourself with. That's all you're filling yourself with. When I look at the views on TikTok, the majority of the views on, and I'm in the Jamaica feed now, like I literally see all the streams that are Jamaican, I don't even want to call them content creators, but ultimately Jamaican people putting out content. And it is just a lot of drama, gossip, and negativity. And the views are through the roof. So it doesn't surprise me that the poverty line in Jamaica is such a high number of people. It doesn't surprise me that the people that are out there driving the taxis and running people off the road and cussing people as they drive are also quite significant and well known. It doesn't surprise me that we have extremely poor customer service because the majority of the focus of the majority of the people is on the negative, is on the misery. And that is whether you are religious or not. So today we're going to shift things up. We are going to start by setting a tone for a positive kind of new year so that we can clear the blocks for people who are trying to manifest a life that does not look like what you have now. We have to get to a point where we start to introspect, where we start to look at ourselves as a part of the problem so that we can shift from that to be a part of the solution. And build a solution that is sustainable, not one that is gonna be here today and gone tomorrow. The new year, guys, is the best time to give that fresh start. A lot of people actually don't like to think about resolutions and that kind of thing because they're like, oh, it's just New Year's hype. You know, it's gonna go away. It never works. Resolutions don't work. You'll see that, you know, those kind of things out there, but it's not about it working or not working. That's really not the issue here. What we're actually trying to do is to take advantage of this energy that says we can create whatever we want. At the beginning of the year, everybody globally, that's what all people are thinking about. People are looking forward to a new beginning. People are thinking about new opportunities, new possibilities. And so even if you don't necessarily like have that belief system, because so many other people do, there's this overarching energy that you want to take advantage of. It's a really great time to literally be able to tap into the energy of everybody else that is feeling hopeful, that is feeling possibility bound. It's a great time to think about how you want to have that symbolic fresh start so that you can make it also the perfect time for manifesting, for clearing away negativity, and for setting intention so that you can step away from this stereotypical view that Jamaican people aren't capable of having a nice life at all levels of society, that that you're too miserable to manifest. It's a great time to step away from the traditional views of Jamaicans as aggressive and criminals, because that's literally what you see every day. That's what people talk about. In the diaspora, people talk about not moving back to Jamaica because it's too rough down there. Why it's a rough down here? It's up to each and every one of us as individuals to make a decision that we're not going to be the negative Nellies that are going to bring the country down. We're not going to be the ones that are contributing to the crime. And that literally starts in your mind. That's literally where it starts. Right? So we have to first of all understand that negativity is a manifestation block. Okay? You can have negative thoughts, feelings, and self-talk, the things that go on in your head over and over again. These are the type of thoughts that actually make it difficult for you to manifest that amazing job. You're stuck in a situation where you just can't seem to get beyond what you are currently earning. You can't seem to move it, and it requires intentional mental focus. I can tell you because I am one of those persons that is consistently mentally focused on shifting money in my life. Because if you look at your thoughts, you're going to see why you have the life you have. I mean, I know persons that have homes, they have houses that they own, they drive nice vehicles, they have their kids are doing well, they have money in the bank, and they still are the most negative persons. All they talk about is what they don't have, what can go wrong, what will go wrong, what went wrong last week, and what will come down. So I'm telling you, it's like, okay, but you have this over here. And it's like, yeah, but I created that. I can have that. You know, I can work hard and I can create that. And I'm like, so how does that add up? How is it that you're negative, but over here, so you're positive? And when they look at their lives in the places where they have created and amassed wonderful wealth or wonderful love or wonderful relationships, in those places where they have created that with ease, their thoughts are, oh, I can create that. It's easy. I deserve that. But in the places where there is old stuff like sludge from like the past, maybe you grew up in a home that was scarcity minded. Maybe you grew up in a home where all you saw was hard knocks. And so it's difficult for you to see a possibility that is prosperous. And you have all of that legacy thinking, that legacy training from your parents that says you're not supposed to have good things, you're not supposed to have nice things, you're not supposed to have money. Because you have all of that legacy that you have to work through, that part of your life don't look good. Right? So your negative thoughts, feelings, and self-talk actually create a block between you and what you want to manifest. So when you sign up for all these manifestation courses and you see all these different people selling this manifestation stuff, you have too many blocks in place to actually manifest anything. Or you manifest in a moment, but then in another moment is like desert, it's like crickets, nothing not working out for you. So you have to start paying attention to the thoughts that you're having. Are you doubting your ability to succeed? Do you have those self-doubt thoughts that say, but what if I fail? What if I'm too late? What if I can't find a solution? What if I do all of this and then I lose it? Look at whether or not you're having those thoughts. You have to transform your mind before you can transform the external experience of life that you're having. Right? So look at where you may be doubting your ability to succeed. What if that person better than me and they compare me to that person? Like when you look at the thoughts that you're having, you can tell when you are having negative Nelly thoughts. You can tell because it's always pointing you away from the thing that you want. And it also makes you miserable. You go out into the world and you're just encountering bare miserable people, or people are avoiding you because you are miserable. So when you start to look at the thoughts in your head, start to pay attention to the life that you have and see how the thoughts in your head are doing that. Are they doubting thoughts? Are you focusing on what's missing? So like the same people I was talking to you about, where they have an amazing set of houses and homes and stuff like that, but they don't have the love life. Or maybe they have the love life, but when it comes to the health and the wellness and the joy, the internal joy, they don't have that. Because what they're focusing on, they're not focusing on the things that they have and saying, oh my gosh, this is great. I want more of that. I'm going to create that. Da, 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 da. No, instead of that, they're focusing on what's missing over here. Oh my gosh, I just sick all the time. I can't get to church because my leg, whatever. I don't have no money to join the gym. That's a waste of money. I'd rather invest it. I got doctor and them give me a bad report. But boy, my mother did have diabetes. So I guess that's why I am getting sick too. So they're focusing on what's missing instead of focusing on what's possible. Are you doing that? Are you focusing on what's missing from your life? Are you focusing on what is not possible because your granny did have cataract? So your eyesight going go bad because, yeah, man, I have high blood pressure running my family, so I for just, the stress, I understand why when the stress come on. Like, I mean, guys, if that is your constant thought and constant words that come out of your mouth, then that's going to be your reality. And that's going to block you from manifesting what you want. And then another area that you want to think about, how do I think? Is this how I think? Is whether or not you are resenting other people for their stuff. Are you envying other persons for what they have? So you spend a whole heap of your time bad minding. I literally almost call this live today, are Jamaicans too bad mind to manifest? Because we do sit down a lot and gossip about him, her, and the other one, and about all the things that them have, why them not good enough, why them doing all this extra and that extra. Them extra E. And they're over there, the other person that you're sitting down resenting and envying, they're just living their best lives. While you're over here miserable and not manifesting. So you have to use these thought processes. You have to start to pay attention to what you're thinking. And I don't know that we do that enough. I don't know that we pay attention to what we're thinking. What are the thoughts that are running through your head? I mean, I'm at the point now, guys, where I have these conversations that actually say to myself, right? I am observing the thought that I have, and I know that's why I'm getting the feeling that I'm getting. Because the thought that I have that I can't seem to get rid of is giving me this feeling. And so I have to do my own processing. I have to manage it myself because I know that there are energetic ties that come along with that. And I can look at my thoughts and I can say to myself, I see you, thought, and I know that right now is not the time where that thought is going to shift because I'm vexed or because I'm sad or because I'm disappointed or whatever. And I will be with the thought because I acknowledge that that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know if the average Jamaican person actually observes what they're thinking. I think it's just another part of your life. You'll just be sat in the thinking, the negative thinking, and you just accept it as the what so. It's just some mistake. You just believe that you have to think those thoughts, and you don't. You get to choose where you focus your effort and energy. It's not every day that you're going to wake up and it's going to be positive. Yeah, everything nice. That's not what I'm saying. But it's being able to recognize what you are thinking. Because when you can recognize what you are thinking, then you'll be able to start to shift those thoughts to more of what you want in your life. I guarantee you, if you spend just the next couple of days leading up to the new year, just every time you hear a thought come up in your head, just observe it. Just observe the thought and see where in your life that thought has created a reality that you don't want. All right. So when you look at what I'm asking to do, it's called self-reflection. So ask yourself the question, what do I consistently complain about? What do I consistently complain about? Where do I feel stuck? Where do I feel like my life is just not going well? When you ask yourself, where is my life just not going well? Ask yourself that question. Where is my life really sucking right now? And after you ask yourself that question, ask yourself, what do I complain about? What do I think about when it comes to that part of my life? Ask yourself that question. Right? And what happens is you want to look out for the common traps, like lingering on past mistakes. So just remembering all the ways that you messed up, and then just sitting there focusing on all the messing up that you did. If you're constantly doing that, constantly lingering on the past mistakes, then what you're doing is setting up your present moment to have more of those things happen, to invite more of that into your life, because that's where your mind is focused. All right. Now, as we wrap things up, let's shift from the negative Nelly to being more possibility and purposeful thinking. So there are some practical things that you can do, guys, to shift your mindset. First thing, I always talk about the gratitude, whether it's you're writing it down like a gratitude journal or it's a gratitude jar, whatever it is that you're doing. 5 things, 3 things, 2 things, 1 thing. If it's only 1 thing you can think about that you're grateful for, it's a perfect way to shift your thinking. Flipping the script, turning a negative into a positive statement. So if you hear the thought, what if I'm not good enough? Then flip that. What if I'm better than I think I am? But you have to pay attention first to what you're thinking in order to be able to use that tool. Okay? So the gratitude thing is a big one, to just set your mind at ease for a moment. And then flipping the script is another one. Flip the opposite. Just the moment you have the thought, what if something negative, just think of the opposite. What if they're better than me? What if the other person like this person? Well, what if my unique way of being makes me shine, makes me outshine anybody else? What if things don't work out? Everything always works out. So you have to learn these very simple techniques, but they're so helpful and they're very practical. You don't have to read a book to figure it out. It's just a very practical, easy thing for you to implement right away. Now, I have something special that I'm doing in 2025 that I want you guys to participate in. In particular, I really feel that my fellow Jamaicans should be looking to do things to help them with their mind. Because if we don't shift our mindset, everybody from prime minister all the way down to the person that don't have nothing, no shillings in them bank account, them living on the street. If we are to shift our mindset, we can actually create the country that we believe is possible. You can drive on the road and not dropping in a pothole every 5 seconds. You can step outside and be out and about and experience good service because the person that's giving you the service, them have a mindset that is transformed. So in 2025, I challenge you as a Jamaican person to step into more mindfulness. I challenge you to change your mindset, to look at where you are doubting yourself. I challenge you to look at where you're constantly complaining. I challenge you to look at where you are miserable in your life and to decide that you're going to stand up for yourself so that you can be a part of a better community for this country. Whether it is you are religious, not religious, you could be Catholic, you could be Pentecostal, Seventh Day, No Day, you could be atheist, you don't even believe, whatever it is that you are, you cannot expect to be sat there thinking that you are not good enough and then telling everybody else and talking to everybody else about them friend not being good enough, them man not good enough. You spend all of your time gossiping and I watch the different show them on the TikTok and your reels that just showing people a cuss bad word and a carry on. And I talk about how life hard and how them broke and how, yeah, you know, me have to hustle and me have to thing. And like, I mean, come on. If you keep feeding yourself that, then your life is going to reflect that. Your feelings are going to reflect that. Your relationships are going to reflect that. Your wealth is going to reflect broke. Your health is going to reflect sick. Your career is going to reflect pop down job. It's time we shifted our minds and stop looking over there in the other countries, in the US, in Europe, where everybody talking about manifestation and you're like, well, me can't manifest nothing. Me not believe in that. That woo, it's woo to you because you're living a life that is filled with negativity because your your glass is half full and not half empty and not half full. So stop looking outside of the country for what you have right here within yourself to create. And make 2025 the year that you transform your mind so that you can have a better experience of the people that you live with in the same country as you. I know that we can do it. I am a Jamaican native person. I was born here. I may not have spent my entire life here. But I don't want to be sat over there in Atlanta or wherever else and listening to other people in the diaspora talk about Jamaicans too aggressive and them too mean and miserable and them too this and crime, too that and whatever, because so they can't live amongst us. That's literally what happens. All the people in that Western Union in money to other Jamaicans, they're not coming here because they don't want to be amongst the mindless people. But I believe that there's a lot of mindful people here. I believe that there are a lot of people that want better lives for themselves. I believe there are people that want to shift their mindset and want to believe in the possibility of greatness. A lot of people that want to step into their purpose. So I'm doing a challenge, 21-day challenge to shift your mindset. Shifting your mindset from one of self-doubt, from one of negativity, from one of envy and resentment, from one of scarcity and lack, to one of purpose, possibility, potential, all of the P's. Because you have it available to you. You can create the same kind of life that you see out there and you say you want, but you don't believe you can do it. So for 21 days, we're going to focus on how we can change our lives. The first thing you're going to focus on is how you start your day. Like just get up in the morning and the first thing that you do is think about how you can be grateful for waking up instead of thinking about, oh gosh, another tough day. I forgot the people, them tired job. And you start using this language that doesn't serve you. Right? I see here on TikTok that you're saying you're right, but it doesn't work for everyone. Change mindset and all. Well, here's what I'm saying. I disagree. I disagree that it doesn't work. I think it works very well. And I can tell you because my life 10 years ago was quite popped down. I was not out here talking about manifesting and mindset shifting and all of that. No, I was miserable. I had cancer. I was in the middle of a divorce and I was getting treated for clinical depression 10 years ago. And yes, are there areas of my life that still need work? Yes, there are areas of my life where I feel pressure, I feel pain. But you know what is saving me from getting back to cancer and getting back to depression? What's saving me from that is my mindset shifting, the mindset work that I'm doing, where I have to watch the thoughts that I'm thinking so that I don't end up back in this downward spiral, in these negative situations where I cannot help myself out of the problem that I'm having. So when I'm talking to you and I'm saying to you guys that this works, it's not, I'm talking to you from a place of knowing my life was in the gutter. And I had to reinvent myself. And it was my mind that I had to reinvent first. And I'm still doing it. Even when I come on here and I'm talking to you guys about these principles, I'm always talking to myself. I'm always talking to myself first. Because I know that if I don't shift myself, then I can't help nobody else to shift. And I have hundreds of examples. I got through a week and I will have so many examples of where I have had to shift my thinking. And in the moment I shifted it, something just dropped in my lap that says, yes, because you shifted how you thought about it, I'm going to present you with, life presents me with change. Life presents me with opportunities. And if you practice, it's the same thing, that's why I'm doing the challenge, because it's not like you're going to wake up today and your thoughts just shift to positive thoughts. Sometimes people will watch my tea time, like this show, people will watch it. And when they're watching it, they feel like, yes, it's possible. And then as soon as them gone out and facing whatever is going on in them house, or they're gone back to work and facing the boss that making them head hurt them, as soon as they do that, they start to think and talk the negative things again. So it's not something that is a one-off. It's something that you have to practice. But I believe that if you practice it enough, it becomes your way of thinking as opposed to the old way of thinking. And you start to see things show up over time. You can't expect that for 20, 30, 40 years of your life, you have been sitting in resentment because of who bad man you are, who never give you what you want in your life. You're sitting in envy because of who have something that you should have that you don't have. You're sitting in a bad relationship because you haven't healed from the past wounds. You're sitting broke all the time because of how much scarcity you dealt with when you were coming up. Like, you can't expect that you've been doing that for 2, 3, 4 decades, and then just in 1 week, you're going to just shift to money raining down from the sky and every relationship being rosy. No, you have to spend some time shifting. It's like you're turning the Titanic, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. So you're going to join the challenge. It starts January 6th. So you have whole heap of time. I'm going to have another tea time before the challenge starts, right? And I'll be putting up my links and all of that. So make sure that you sign up for the challenge. You can literally right now go to epictransformation.net/MM2025 and sign up right away. Or even easier, you can go to my Instagram, which is I am Stacey Hines, and you can go into my stories. You can go into the link in my bio. You can sign up for it there. Here on TikTok, I will put a link in this particular, when I do the replays, I will put a link there so that you can sign up for it on TikTok if you're not on IG. If you're on YouTube, sign up in the link in the show descriptions, because every single video that's going to go out between now and January 5 is going to be inviting you guys to sign up for the challenge. I'm challenging every single Jamaican to shift their mind for 2025. It's about time we do something different. It's about time. It's about time that we evolved from feeling like we got to be at the bottom of the barrel. It's about time. So, thank you guys for joining Tea Time today. I'm so excited to see all of you show up in the challenge in another couple of weeks. We have some stuff that we're going to change. We have some stuff that we're going to be doing in our lives, right? And I'm really excited to be doing it with you all. Thank you so much, my TikTok family. I see you guys. You're just giving me all the love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, my YouTube family, for signing on with me every Saturday, 8:30 a.m. Guys, I am here. I am live every Saturday. Make sure that you're showing up because it's time for us to shift our lives so that we can manifest the magic that we deserve. We deserve magical lives. We deserve possibility-filled lives. We deserve purpose-filled lives. And it doesn't matter what your background is, you can have it. Take care, everybody. Nice to see you.